Umbongo Mandems, and welcome to the Monday Night Chores, the #1 retro wrestling podcast dedicated to rewatching all of the Monday Night Wars, so you don't have to. Each episode we compare Raw and Nitro to decide which truly was the best. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review or a virtual thumbs up, or better yet, tell a friend how good we are, and then we can build our little miniature wrestling world. As ever, I am your host, Dave Mack, joined by the podcasting equivalent of the New Day, Gareth Wadland.
Whoop.
And the podcasting equivalent of a tag team that did not make the WWE's list of 50 greatest tag teams of all time, Sam Wakefield.
All right.
Hey, so what have we been watching this week in wrestling? Let's start with Sam, because you're always a bit of a downer, and then Gareth can drag it up. So what's your wrestling 2 weeks? Because we have an extra week off. So what have you done with your extra week of wrestling?
Well, I didn't view it as an extra week of wrestling. I watched Kane versus Kane. Kane versus Imposter Kane, and I'll give you 3 points if you know who played Imposter Kane.
Harry Kane.
Yes, 3 points to you.
Michael Caine?
Whoop.
Nope. You don't have to be called Kane.
Oh.
That's a clue.
Oh, okay.
It was Luke
Mick
Gallows.
Foley?
Luke Gallows.
I would have been good if it was Mick Foley because he'd just been really short and fat in comparison. Yeah.
Kevin Sullivan.
I was going to go
Yeah,
with
I kind of went.
Canes.
I didn't even look for it. I just think I put WWF on in YouTube while I was doing stuff, and it just sort of went
That came
down.
up.
Well, that's the top things that come up.
No, I think that it was like I think Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant was the first thing,
Course
and then I
it
just saw
was.
Kane versus Kane. And I thought, well, this will be a Meltzer 5-star.
5-star classic, yeah.
Yeah.
Was
So
it?
then I just watched a few things. No, it was shit, wasn't it? So. Watching Luke Gallows try and have the mannerisms of Kane, though, was really good.
So you watch Fake Diesel versus Festus. I like it.
Yeah. Basically.
Check you out, Garo. Look at me. I know wrestling.
On a wrestling podcast.
In
Breaking down the fourth wall.
2 weeks, you watched one wrestling match.
And I watched loads more stuff. I can't be bothered to talk about it because it's
That's
just
what we
AEW and you don't like it. Well, no.
You can say
You
AEW.
can say it. We'll just mock you.
I watched some AEW.
Was it good?
No, shit.
Oh.
Is Chris Jericho still there?
I don't know.
Has Mark
Is
Henry had a match yet?
Yep, against a big show.
Oh.
Had a 60-minute Iron Man submission match.
Where the winner gave birth to a hand.
Where the winner got to dig up and fuck Mae Young's corpse.
Was there
Pretty
a running from the Young Bucks?
No, there was a young from the,
From the Young Bucks.
the old fucks.
Does that happen on AEW?
Yeah. I don't know.
The Young Bucks do run-ins.
Yeah.
I think something run-ins happen. All wrestling.
I don't know.
We're getting bogged down in technicalities of AEW.
Oh, okay.
Here, aren't we? Gareth, what have
Yes.
you watched with your extra week of wrestling? What have you brought to the table?
I watched Fake Undertaker versus... no. No, I didn't. I watched Broken Skull with The Godfather.
Nice.
Oh.
Is that any good? Because I don't really like
it's
The
all
Godfather.
right.
I'd imagine he's boring.
He's all right, actually. He used to be some fucking Hell's Angel biker dude.
Yeah,
he was
a
in-
strip club, didn't they, as well?
He worked one as well, and he was like, coming up through the ranks. But who was it? What was they like? Was it the Crews with the Under? That's it, with the Undertaker. Right, a lot. That was quite good. Talking about all that, so that was interesting. I watched Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan at Survivor Series 2018.
Nice.
Very good.
Good match.
Yeah, that was good. And then that got me onto a bit of a Planet's Champion Daniel Bryan thing, because that's what I remember when I came back into wrestling again for like the 7th time. That's what I was watching when he was feuding with Kofi Kingston, I think it was, wasn't it?
And he had the Hessian belt.
That's it. He had his hemp belt, and he had Rowan.
Eco Warrior.
It was Rowan, wasn't it? Yeah, it was
Eric
good.
Redbeard.
I liked that. I thought it was a really good character for him. But yes, that's what I have been watching.
Check you out. You've actually watched real wrestling. I'm impressed.
I don't think any wrestling's real, technically, but
Whoa.
I watched
I watched some
Olympic
AEW
wrestling.
as well. That helps.
Oh, that's proper wrestling.
That's good.
Jesus.
It was a run-in from the Young Bucks.
Was it Christian and Matt Hardy?
That's WWF, isn't it? Surely.
You're not a true super fan, are you?
No.
No. I watched WrestleMania 17. Greatest WrestleMania of all time, isn't it? Yeah, I know, isn't it? Yeah. I watched that. Plus I watched all the stuff about the 50 greatest tag teams of all time.
Who was the greatest tag team?
New Day. According to WWE. New Day.
New Day.
I liked it because it was also presented by Tyler Breeze and Breeze Dango, who they've obviously just got rid of anyway. So
okay, obviously going a bit off topic. Who would you say is the greatest tag team of all time?
Their list is basically WWF, WWE only. Yep. They're discounting anyone who's been in any other promotions. I don't know. I'd still say for me, I'd go with someone like the Hardy Boys, just because that's who I grew up with, and they've had so much entertainment from them.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, if I'd go for one when I was a kid, I'd go with the Rockers, but they were nowhere near as successful. No. So I'd have to go with the Hardys because they actually backed up the titles runs. How about you? Sam? What would you go with?
Sam, who would you go with?
Dudley Boys. As far as most decorated, most titles everywhere, Japan, TNA, Dudleys.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but Hardys probably be close, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But then, there's a lot of them out there.
There is, isn't there? I'd go with either the Quebecers or the Beverly Brothers. I can't decide which one it would be.
Hulk Hogan and his leg drop.
What about the jumping bees or whatever they were called? Oh no, the Conquistadors. They were good.
Conquistadors.
Yeah,
they were the gold guys.
Yeah,
Edge and Christian, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, later. Nice. So WWE, the company who crowned Shane McMahon the best in the world at what he does.
Fact.
And New Day, 3 men, the best 2-man tag team.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll go.
No, to be
was
fair
that
to
one
them,
of the stipulations? Was it 2-man tag team?
No, to be fair to them, though.
What combination did they?
Like at the start of the program, though, they did like caveat it saying this is like a WWF list or a WWE list, and it's open for interpretation and discussion. They didn't like try and pass it off as like this.
Legion of Doom, Hart Foundation, the Rockers, New Age Outlaws, Jerry Show, Chris Jericho, and the Big Show.
What about AJ Styles and Chris Jericho? Do you remember when they tag teamed for like?
What about Michelle McCool and Layla? Whatever her name was.
I don't know who these people are anymore. Money Inc. I remember them.
You've got so bitter towards this. Bushwhackers were like number 50 or something. Oh, fucking hell.
They shouldn't have even been on the fucking list, should they?
Jesus. To be fair, I think to find 50 tag teams is pretty hard.
What about the Russian team? I used to like them, the Volkovs.
I don't know.
Always done the Russian national anthem.
Yeah, Nikolai Volkov, and who was the other one? I can't remember.
Kevin.
I feel we've gone off piece.
We've gone well out of it now.
Well out.
I was trying to just have a discussion, and it just kind of
round tabled it, and
it just went.
Blame Sam. He got really bitchy about the New Day being 3 people, didn't he? So.
I just had an opinion. I mean,
well, keep them to yourself, mate. That's not what you're
here
for.
What have we told you about that?
Yeah, I know.
You think what I tell you to think, Sam. That's the whole point of this podcast, isn't it? Anyway, let's get back to the mid-90s wrestling, because that's way more fun than talking about the New Day. I was going to start with Raw, because we have missed a week of Raw. WCW had a mini-series break, so we've got an episode of Raw to go through. So I'll just go through the results for you. We had the 4th of Raw. Shawn Michaels beat the 1-2-3 Kid in a all-right match, actually, if it's worth watching. But you'd expect that from those two around that time. We had a Piper's Pit, where he interviews Goldust. Razor Ramon challenged Goldust. So now we're getting Roddy Piper fighting Goldust for some unknown reason.
Hold on, Razor Ramon challenged Goldust.
Yep. So
now Roddy Piper's doing it instead.
Yep, we're pushing forward with that as well.
Okay.
It's 1996. What do you want? We had a debuting Justin Hulk Bradshaw, Mr. JBL himself. He beat Hakushi with the clothesline from hell, and after the match, he hog-tied him and pretended to brand him with a branding iron. So look forward to seeing a little bit of that. Nice. Main event: Bret Hart beat Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Yeah, with the sharpshooter. So
sweet.
And then we finished with a bit of Billionaire Ted, as you'd expect, I guess.
Do you remember the story about John Bradshaw when they toured Germany, goose stepping up and down the ring? Yeah.
Was that him trying to get heat?
Yeah, that's
his claim, was it?
To be fair, you can't argue that he probably definitely did get heat, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he did. He wasn't lying.
Is it the best way to do it, though? Because I could say a lot of offensive stuff that get hate, but that's not necessarily the way to do business, is it?
I don't know. I think now, I don't think anyone can truly get real heat now, can they?
I don't know.
Stepping in Germany?
I was going to say that might do it.
Well, then he achieved what they said couldn't be achieved. But I'm talking about
unachievable. They said it couldn't be done.
And by they,
went, fuck
you.
this. I'm goose stepping in Germany.
Yeah, they did a tour of Africa and he blacked up, didn't he? And
Whoa.
came out wearing all chains and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Just
So
JBL, the
much
most. He just went with the racist gimmick, did he? That the route you went
Nice.
down. Nice, just stick it to
Forget
your
the
gimmick.
racist lifestyle, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Thug life, racist life. We will start. We have got Raw, the 11th of March, 1996. We start with a promo from Vince McMahon. He tells us the Undertaker and Yokozuna's casket matches are legendary. I'm not sure I agree with that, but tonight they're going to team up against Owen and the Bulldog in our main event, so that'll be good. We're from San Antonio, Texas, and we're in a proper arena. They're actually in a real arena for a change.
Looked
which
nice,
quite
didn't it? Looked big.
Yeah, looks like they're actually putting effort in rather than.
I was going to say, look like they made an actual effort.
I was impressed. Dave Meltzer in The Observer this week notes that on the Raw from San Antonio, it was a sellout of 9,364 people. It opened, the dark match was Skip beating someone called either Craig or Dwayne Johnson. He can't remember their name. He says, not sure who the guy is. It was a tryout match. He looked green, but he looks okay. So,
Wonder how he'll do.
Maybe we'll see Craig Johnson sometime in the future. Who knows?
We haven't by any chance glossed over the actual intro to Raw, have we? Where Vince is saying that Taker and Yoko have buried their differences. Really?
Did he?
And there was a nice shot of Stu Hart stretching his son, Brett. Did you see that?
Yeah, they showed that quite a few times in this episode.
He looked like he was trying to kill him. It looked like to me.
Stu Hart's a lunatic, though, isn't he?
Yeah. Have you on Wrestling with Shadows? Brett basically says, like, really, it was child abuse by today's standards, like what he used to do to his kids. I mean, you will end up with some severely fucking tough kids.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
God, Dave, your kids must be so tough, man.
He explained how when you get them in that position, he said you can roll their head, and he was like describing how you can see the blood vessels bursting behind the eyes as the eyes go bloodshot and sort of the lips turning blue. He says this, and and you're like, oh, great.
Cheers, Dad.
Got your Father's Day card. Thanks. Love you.
Okay, that's where old people just go, well, it's a different time then, wasn't it? Okay.
I wonder if Brett's
World's
so
best
down
dad.
And shitty all the time. His old man was trying to strangle
Got to
him.
have an effect, isn't it?
Literally killed him. Yeah, madness.
Jeez.
We open up this show with Savio Vega versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. We get Savio coming out. He's high-fiving all the crowd. And I noticed in the crowd we get a nice sign where someone's got WCW, we copy WWE sign. So, yeah.
Clever.
Wow, so they preempted the change from WWF to WWE.
Oh, sorry, WWF.
Years before. So.
Jesus, yes. One of those nights.
Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
He's not sorry.
Cut out all the stuff you say that's entertaining. Won't take me long.
You won't have to cut much out.
No, never do. Steve Austin, he gets the jobber's entrance on this one. He looks like a chump. He's never going to make it, is it? Bald hair, silly little beard.
So is that
trunks.
the guy who used to be the ringmaster? Is it?
Yeah. So
I didn't recognise him because something that different. What did he? Had he cut his hair or something?
He's shaved it. He's shaved himself from that tiny stubble now down to baldness. So it's like a whole new world. And yeah, who knows?
And what's this? This is the first Stone Cold mention, is it? On WWF, supposedly.
People were calling him the ringmaster, but we don't think that describes him accurately. So we are going to call him Stone Cold.
Yeah, and boy,
said Vince, the man who came up with the gimmick of ringmaster.
The ringmaster, he's Stone Cold for sure.
Boy, does Vince McMahon call him Stone Cold Steve Austin tonight. He must mention it 100 times during this match, doesn't he? He's getting that shit over, brother. So
when Steve Austin decided he saw the documentary, didn't he, about the mafia guy who used to freeze people, and he was a stone cold killer, and he just wanted to be this dead-eyed badass sort of killer, didn't give a shit about anything. So he went to Vince with this idea, and do you remember it? They gave him a list of names all revolving around ice and frost.
Oh, wasn't it like Mr. Freeze and stuff like that?
Yeah, Frost McClaw or
that's
Mr.
so good.
Yeah, they weren't really getting it. This is like WWE creative. He's like, he's a stone cold killer. He's like ice runs through his veins.
Cold,
like,
you say?
Oh, Mr. Glacier, but Mr.
Frosty
Frosty the Snowman.
McSnow. Yeah,
they're going to put a
Slush
carrot
puppy
on his nose and a scarf around his neck and little twigs through his arms, and then he throws it all off. And then obviously we all know his wife said, "The tea will get stone cold." I think it'd be good if she said,
me.
that tea's going to go Stone Cold, you pillock. And he was like, that's it. Stone Cold Pillock Austin.
That's what we call you, isn't it?
Stone Cold.
Pillock.
Oh.
He's harsh. But yeah, they're definitely getting this over. And one thing I will say about this is Vince is pushing this hard. And having watched a lot of like 90s wrestling, he doesn't normally go all in on wrestlers. He normally largely ignores what's going on, but he is trying to get Austin over big time in this.
Well, unless your name's Shawn.
Yeah, unless you're HBK or Diesel or Black Glove himself, then he's not going for it. So, you know, we say Stone Cold got over, but Vince is pushing this guy. He knows there's something there, doesn't he?
You and I made the observation when we were hanging around at that park the other day that they were in such a rush to push.
Just to clarify, it's Dave and Sam, not me.
Yeah, no, Gaz
I'm not allowed near parks anymore.
Watching Gaz in the park.
Not allowed in parks.
Not after that. We were like, they did something which was like a precedent. Is that the right word?
Unprecedented.
WWF? Yeah. It set a precedent, whatever I was trying to say. They just said, he used to be called Ringmaster. We were calling him that. Now he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Before they would normally take you off TV for a few months, wouldn't they? And then show these video clips of that word I can never pronounce.
Vignerettos.
Vignettes, that's it. Yeah, a vinaigrette.
Yeah,
but they didn't. They just went right. We just want to. Vince just loved it. I think he saw it and he was like, "Used to be Ringmaster, not anymore." Anyway, fucking moving on.
Yeah, they're going all in it. You can't blame him because he's got an idea and he's good. So they're
going all in, are they? Like AEW, who do once a year. They play a big pay-per-view.
Speaking of AEW, who was in the crowd, Sam?
People.
Come on.
This is a good segue. This on Raw, they
mentioned was in the crowd on Raw.
There was there's an Olympic hopeful.
AEW. He was sexually chocolatey.
They described him as the world's strongest man.
In the crowd at Raw. Yeah, Mark Henry.
Yes,
in the crowd this episode of Raw.
A young Olympic hopeful called Mark
Henry.
I'll line
them up. You just missed them completely.
Honest.
You said, speaking of AEW, who was in the crowd? And then I started thinking about the crowd invader.
But we're talking about Raw in 96.
Raw, this is the podcast. Anyway, these two...
You're like an England penalty taker. Fucking missing it.
By the time we get this out, we'd have forgotten about this, wouldn't we?
Oh, sorry.
We don't timestamp the episodes.
Oh, no.
It's not how it works, is it? If you mention something in the paper today, it just goes eye-wide. This one, it's a fairly back-and-forth match. Eventually, Savio Vega makes a bit of a comeback with some leg lariats in the corner. They go to the outside and they just have a double count out after 8 minutes, don't they? And post-match, they brawl a lot and the referees kind of break them up. I'm really enjoying watching early Steve Austin, though. This is really good to see the kind of birth of what we know will be the biggest star of the Attitude Era, you know.
White Boots was odd, wasn't it? That was a hard watch.
Yeah, you just don't expect it. Just those early doors, because you think he's looking so simple that you'd have got it straight away, but yeah, they're still tweaking to get there. I wasn't that happy with the end of this, though. I don't think we needed a double count out. I think we could have had someone go over.
I liked the brawl.
Yeah, the brawl afterwards was all right.
I didn't, because he's stone cold, but he's backing down from Savio Vega. I thought that was a little bit.
But Steve Austin, you'll notice this turning babyface. So leading up to WrestleMania, he does do some quite cowardly things. He does backing off is quite like he does peel away quite a lot. He sort of strikes, attacks, and then he begs off quite a lot. And he does have a bit of a cowardliness to him. Whereas when he become the babyface, he just
the rattlesnake
walk through the fires of hell, wouldn't he?
Jesus, yeah. But you need to have that cowardly edge to your heels a little bit sometimes, don't you? They need to beg off a bit, so
you got to be a chicken shit heel.
Yeah, exactly. We like that kind of stuff.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good before you cut off there.
Sorry, no. I was about to ask you.
My favourite bit, though, was when Vince McMahon described them both from being from the street area where they're from. I thought,
just over there,
just outside the front of my house.
Yeah, that area. What's not in your
street
house?
Area? Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. They're from the street area.
They're streetish.
Thanks, Vince.
That's as good as it gets. He must have said Stone Cold at least 50 times before saying that, though. So he's going for it. He's trying, bless his heart. But
he certainly is.
We did also get some replays of the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, press slamming Jerry the King Lawler earlier in the night as well. So
that's always good to see.
Yeah. Weird and wonderful start to Raw. I quite liked it as an opening match, though. I thought it was all right.
How are you finding King and Vince commentary at the moment? Has it got to the point now where like Vince can't stop interrupting himself and shouting devastating maneuver, and King making jokes like Vega's so clumsy he'll trip over a cordless phone?
Yeah,
That is possible.
so
Well,
I'm not a fan. Vince McMahon's commentary is always poor beyond belief, and the fact they tape it and they could redo it and actually get it half decent.
I must admit, I haven't noticed their commentary in so many months now.
Really? But do you think that's just because we've become a bit desensitized to just how terrible it is? If someone tuned in again, would they just watch it and be like, "Oh, this is awful"? But we watch it every week. So
but I'm sure for the amount
like
of
white noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
We just tune it out.
I can't seem to just get away from Vince just constantly shouting devastating maneuver, and he'll start a sentence and interrupt himself.
Yeah. Or he's got a habit of asking questions and answering himself. And I'm still annoyed with the 1, 2, 3. It's over. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah.
Still getting that all the time.
1, 2, 3.
And that's literally within 30 seconds of the match starting. They're just in a headlock. You're like, just chill out, Vince. Chill. Just let it breathe. But no,
create excitement, isn't it?
They don't have much chemistry together, though. It always feels a bit awkward.
Yeah,
which is weird, isn't it? Because they've been doing it for ages together, but it just doesn't feel. There's nothing natural there. But does that come from if you're commentating with your boss? Like you two probably feel quite a lot of pressure talking to me so much.
Intimidating, isn't it?
So, yeah, exactly.
And you essentially pay our bills.
Yeah, I could make you or break you at any given time. And
I'm not one of your kids, Dave. Jesus.
Yes. If we switch to Nitro, it is the 11th of March. Our hosts are Eric, Bischoff, Bobby Heenan, and Mongo. We get the Mega Pyro opening, which I'm becoming accustomed to, which is awesome. We hear that we've got a new TV champ, which will be interesting. I wonder who that could be. And the Road Warriors will be taking on the Nasty Boys in what sounds like a classic early 90s match from the WWF. And they tell us we've got a 6-man double strap main event. So the main event, we will have Lumberjacks, who will have straps, and so will everyone in the ring,
t-shirts.
And straps everywhere. So who knows what that's going to be. Pepe is dressed I've got his dressed as either ready for a party or he's a clown.
So he's got a party hat, like a big adult one.
Yeah.
He's almost like he's pulled it down, so the rest of the hat is like a little shirt and a little bit of the hat on the top. Yeah, I'd say it's a party outfit.
Party up. I've just got, he looks dead behind the eyes now. If Mongo loved him, he'd set him free. The poor sod just
I think
like
he actually is just stuffed. He's just like, yeah, that's what it is.
You can't just set chihuahuas free. You can't just take him to the woods.
That's where they come from, the wild. Just put them back.
Yeah, of course, why not?
From the
Like a little
deserts of
field
Mexico,
mouse.
yeah.
I had a kitten and I just put it in a sack with a couple of bricks down a river. Freedom. Never
Swimming
saw it again.
lessons.
Yeah, loved it.
How do you know? Never saw it again.
We've got Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus the Giant. Hacksaw's out. He's given us the hose. He's got a flag. Eric tells us.
As we know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan from that long line of Irish tape fist champions.
What's a fist? What's an Irish fist taping champion?
I think he meant bare knuckle fighters, didn't he?
I thought that, but he said it.
That's what he meant.
There's something to do in the history of the Duggans where they taped fists to win matches. And I don't know if that was something in...
And for the first time ever, I've ever seen Jim Duggan coincidentally rip up some gaffer tape from the floor. Just for the first time it's been mentioned. He's been wrestling since the mid-70s. No one's ever mentioned it. I chucked it in tonight and then, it's weird.
I thought it was quite good.
It made me think about how Americans are very keen on ancestry, aren't they? Like we don't. Well, I don't go. Oh, I'm from Dutch, Romanian descent, and I just go. I'm English. People go. Oh, what? I don't know. I was born in Malden. Whereas Americans, I think, because it's a new country, they're so proud of being Irish, aren't they? Or having I don't know. It seems to be Ireland.
I went over to when I went to America. We went around to Ellis Island, and it's exactly like that. They go in there, and it's just this big room, and they're like, "Oh, like my grandfather would have come here and signed his paper," and I'm just walking in like this is just like a skull hole. What's going on here?
Well, they're also
150 years old, isn't it? Who cares?
When Americans, like you see boxers and UFC fighters come out with the shamrock and the red, like the Irish colours, the Irish flag, and then I'm just like, but you're
Classic
American.
red.
You're not Irish, are you? Yeah.
I was gutted that they mentioned Irish with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I think it was as American as apple pie.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
school
he is,
shootings.
It's American as potatoes.
Yeah. It
But
was as American
200 years
Guinness.
ago, his family were probably in Ireland. So
I was going.
that makes you Irish.
WCW, where the big boys play.
Giant tosses Duggan around a lot in this. He runs him into a post with ease. He's hammering him. He's baiting him around. We get Brian Pillman in the crowd with a Pillman hotline sign, and Eric Bischoff isn't happy with Pillman doing this. This is all part of Pillman's plans to get fired, isn't it?
Is this where Eric gets up, goes to go off, and then thinks better of it and just sits back down again?
Yep, Eric disappeared off for about 15 seconds to sort the whole hullabalooza out. And
So that wasn't part of the thing.
This is a worked shoot, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Okay.
So
this is his loose cannon being very loose.
Yeah, as loose as you can get. It's. I was always under the impression this was going to be a bit cooler than it is, and it just feels a bit shitty.
Well, it's the first thing we've seen of it, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
Shouting, getting slapped by Arn Anderson.
Yeah, and dicking about with.
I like the idea of Brian Pillman getting chased off by Eric Bischoff. If you're going to get chased off by anyone, it's Bischoff coming at you. Oh no!
Oh no, not Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
We get the Giant as a big bear hug on Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who escapes via biting because why wouldn't you? The crowd are massively not into this at this point. We get a 3-point clothesline from Duggan, and the Giant takes a really cool bump over the top rope where he lands on his feet, comes back in, and just destroys Duggan a bit more. Eventually, we get Duggan goes outside. He tries taping up his knuckles, doesn't he? Because he's an Irish knuckle
taper
champion. It's a weird visual. I've never seen anyone ever do that before and ever again. But weirdly, he goes after Jimmy Hart. Don't know why. Chokeslam, good night, 6 minutes, 23 seconds. Weirdly, I didn't hate this. I quite enjoyed it.
No, and I give Jim Duggan a lot of credit for taking the Giant to a 10-minute match. I mean, Duggan must have pretty much led that match, mustn't he? It made me think he's actually quite, I wouldn't say underrated because I like him, but most people think of Jim Duggan as just going, ho, and crossing his eyes and putting his thumb up and then getting beat. But actually, yeah, he had a 10-minute match with him in the sort of twilight of his career as well.
I thought it was quite good because you don't expect Duggan to be bumping around like some sort of little jobber, and I thought he'd done a good job of making it a decent length match and a decent watch without taking shitty bumps.
And Duggan, the first thing that struck me about Duggan is he looked in really good shape, didn't he? Like, I know he's got that. He's always
down
got
the
that
gazebo.
sort of belly. But fuck me, his shoulders and his arms and everything. Well, he ain't in that good a shape. Come on.
God. Jesus. What did you think, Gaz? Was you thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle?
Oh, yeah, I liked it. I always liked Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He was one of my faves growing up in the early 90s. I didn't know what his gimmick was when I was like 8, 9, whatever, 10 years old. I didn't really understand. He's a guy with a bit of wood. Just hit him with a wood and pin him, But my only thing with it, saying all that, is I can't work out if they're booking Giant to be strong, Duggan to be strong. What are they trying to achieve with the match?
Yeah, I think we were just trying to make the Giant look a little bit tough against someone that's not just your average jobber, weren't we? I think they were just trying to put him out there against someone who's reasonably big and a known name, I did like
Duggan's worked out he can win by taping his fists up to knock someone out. So he ain't got no tape. What's he going to do? Rip up the mats.
Yeah.
Use the gaffer tape off the floor.
Yeah, that's
genius.
That's what the Irish would have done back in the days. So, yeah, weird, but strangely enjoyable, I found. If we switch to Raw, we hear about Savio Vega and Razor Ramon have won a match in the tag team tournament that's going on. Unbelievably, at this time, according to the Observer, Razor Ramon isn't happy with his standing in the company and he has asked for his release.
What?
So, because he doesn't feel as if he's being booked very well. I can't believe that.
If you're not going to work in WWF in 95.
Well, he's turning down a run of tag team with Savio Vega. I mean, does it get better than that?
Would you have booked him as a champ, like as a heavyweight champ, do you think?
No.
Would he have gone that high? No.
I don't know. I think I think it was within the realms of possibility, but I don't know. But then he's never won a major title, has he, Scott Hall, in either promotions?
But the problem is,
would he be more legit than a British Bulldog, than a Bob Backlund, than a?
Yeah, but Bulldog never had the big belt, did he?
No, but he was pushing. He was gunning for the title. Did he even go for it?
I think the problem.
He wasn't there long enough, was he? I don't think. Oh no, he had a 94 against Bret Hart. He had a title match, didn't he? The 94 Rumble.
Yeah, and what Bulldog? He was the
no. Razor
Ramon.
Oh, sorry, Razor. Yeah, I think the problem with Razor is there's just other guys that will overshadow him to be that very top. When you've got someone like Nash or Diesel,
Brett, Shawn, Diesel, Taker. There's a lot of other people there, weren't there?
Yoko as well before he got massive. You know, I think there's just, you know, it's almost like a Jake Roberts situation where he's got all the tools he could do it. It's just circumstance, I think, is.
Well, and he's very, very generous as well. He's very good at selling and making other people look good. Also, was he too much of a character? Was he too cartoonish to be? I know the Undertaker, but he like put the Undertaker to one side for a moment. Most of the champions were just, you know, like him
dudes
coming out with a fake accent. Well, the Hogan was just like, there he is. Oh, Birdie's new favourite wrestler. She actually asked to watch Hulk Hogan match today.
She'd been hanging out with Gareth.
What did you put on for her to watch? What?
Oh, well, she'd already seen some Hulk Hogan matches, so she watched Hogan versus Flair on Raw, where Hogan comes down on a motorbike.
Oh, nice.
Once Hogan's bandana comes off, she says, "Daddy, I want to see a match where Hulk Hogan's wearing his hat." So then we have to go back and find one where his bandana's on. But she especially likes him coming down the motorbike, and she chants, I don't even know how she says it, Hulk Hogan or something. And
Hulk Hogan.
She loves him. But this made me think, 3 years old, born in 2018, Hulk Hogan, long gone. She's seen lots of wrestling, and it might just be about fucking 38-inch toys there, actually. But the fact that she, out of all of them, has picked Hulk Hogan and
larger
knows
than
his
life,
pain,
innit?
asked for him, it kind of just shows that.
Sam, I've got something to tell you. Me and Emily, we had a child. And he's got the power running through her veins, red and yellow.
Pasta Mania.
Is her name Evie?
No, that's not mine.
The other one.
Yeah.
Probably not, to be fair, is it?
No,
Probably James.
quite possibly.
Oh, I have to bleep his name out now.
I mean, we all had a go on your missus back then, didn't we? So it could be
We certainly did. I did never go though, tell you.
Guys was in the corner watching.
It's clapping long in time for you.
It was.
Go, Sam.
Let's just say it was like a loose cannon down there.
Oh, what does that even mean?
Oh, Jesus! Right,
I don't know.
No,
we've had Razor
I've got a
Ramon,
small dick.
Savio Vega.
Yes.
They've gone through the tag team title tournament. Don't know what it's about. Out comes Goldust, and Doc Hendricks is a little bit subdued at this point. He's trying to sell us a WrestleMania denim jacket. There's only 3,000 of them. Grab them while you can. $25, isn't it? 3 easy payments of $25 for 75 of your
stroke 2, maybe 3.
dollars.
Well, that's what you do when you're trying to sell a jacket for like $70 in 1996. Fuck me, that's like 150 quid sort of thing, isn't it?
It's like going, it's 50 quid a month for the next 3 months.
And
You don't have
it
this
made me
pile of
think-
shit.
3 easy
I feel
payments.
So sorry for any poor struggling mum out there who's not only is the advert been put
Johnson's
out, but then the kids are going, "Well, mum, it's only $22," and you're just like, "Fuck!"
Rate of interest. Yeah, it's nonsense. But we get our lovely GM, Roddy Piper. Vince is going to take care of this interview, so my heart sinks a little bit. Oh, Jesus, you might get fun now, mightn't you? At least
First one in 5 weeks.
Piper asks,
"What exactly is your major malfunction, you fruitcake?
he says,
Start,
Goldust.
you mean to go on?
Painting up your face like you're looking like some kind of great transvestite. I'll tell you something."
Piper says, Goldust must be really proud. He said all these mind games aren't fooling him.
"These mind games that you are playing are not fooling me for 1 second.
He must be a great athlete to win the Intercontinental title, but Piper claims he's a lesbian at one point. Ooh, it's weird.
Let's first of all, let's get our sexuality right. You are what you are. Me, I'm a lesbian, okay?"
Piper then says Goldust is making a mockery of the IC title just to get higher up the ratings. At this point,
"You see, President Piper, I want a piece of you real bad, baby. And I know."
he gets on his knees, crawls around a bit in a suggestive fashion. He tries to lift up Roddy Piper's kilt. That's enough. Piper pushes him away. They slap each other around a bit. And Piper agrees to fight him. And he'll make a man out of him. I find it really hard to watch this because in my 2021 eyes, it just feels a little bit too weird. And I know
Homophobe.
probably wasn't back then, and we probably would have laughed along at Roddy Piper calling himself a lesbian and calling Goldust a transvestite, but it's like,
It was uncomfortable. I've got to say, I hated it.
Yeah,
Absolutely hated
it's
it.
hard.
For starters, Roddy spoke for too long. And I always find with Roddy Piper, he has this way of putting himself over, which you're meant to put yourself over, but not bury your opponent too much. I don't know. He always just sort of explains like, I'm more crazy, and I was doing this when you were just this big. And I think he said to Steve Austin once, I was a redneck. Oh, I can't remember. He said something like, he just seems. Great point there, Samuel. He just seems to fucking go on so much that he just buries the person he's talking about. I think I was more gold than you in 1955.
Yeah,
I wore a wig 2 years ago, and I
think the thing with Roddy Piper is he doesn't like really cut them down and make them look really small, but he does it just enough that he takes the shine off of them and puts it on himself a bit too much.
And the Goldust stuff when he got on his hands and knees, I will say it worked in a thing of I just found it uncomfortable. I found it uncomfortable for a few reasons. One, there's kids in the audience, and it's as when you are a parent, you kind of think like, Two, it was just badly done. And three, it was just like we went from being subtle now to like a man teasing that he was giving oral sex to it. Like that's basically what it was getting at, wasn't it? He was sort of like trying to look at his dick, and I'm just like, fucking hell.
He keeps talking about Roddy Piper getting on his back and things like this all the time and backing into it. Like you say, it's not suggestive anymore. It's just like, I'm a gay. And yeah, it's just not nice.
Clip that bit out there, Dave.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, I thought that.
And also, gays don't generally go like approaching
Paint themselves
men
gold,
trying to give them blowjobs, because if
disappointed.
they did, I would have been sucked off by a lot of men by now. I mean, they're already down now. It's not my fault this is happening. Who am I to?
It's how God created them, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, deny them their homosexualities.
Yeah, you're a true gent.
Absolutely.
What did you think, Gareth? Was you a fan? You're going to
I'll
turn
give
around
it
and go, I thought it was
big
brilliant.
thumbs up.
He loved it. Didn't feel
Best
awkward
segment
at
ever.
all. He had his kid on his lap going, look at this.
You think
Batman wants to get a man's dick.
You think like 1996, how even then I'm looking at thinking, would it have been okay in 1996?
No.
Really?
No.
Probably not. No, I mean, calling him a cream puff, and then telling him about how I've already beaten up one transvestite, Mr. Adonis, with a baseball bat, no less. You fucking, well done,
They
Roddy.
deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. You think, come on. I mean, he did throw out a couple of lines what I thought were quite good about how even Freddy Krueger doesn't come into his nightmares because he's that hard, old Piper. But yeah, it was very uncomfortable watching, and I don't think I always try to talk to people that don't like wrestling about wrestling. You wouldn't show them something like this, would you? Like a 96 wrestling Raw. Go watch this. This will make you want to like wrestling.
I love wrestling because of this.
Look at this.
One, like a step over that. As a wrestling fan, do you notice non-wrestling fans always walk in when shit like that's going on?
Yeah.
My
wife does. She looks like, what are you watching?
They don't walk in when
look at this.
Bret Hart's got Steve Austin in the sharpshooter and he's bleeding, or they don't walk in like for a fucking acolytes match, an absolute, like they walk in when
Goldust do that.
Yeah, you got some family round, haven't you? And you sort of sneak off towards Raw and you're just sitting there like that, eating what's it, and they're like, oh no.
Comment, do you like this? Yeah, I really like this. This is what I love. I love
so this is Goldust, and he's a statue gay man.
Androgynous.
And now I'm confused.
Yeah, that man's got a skirt on, but he's probably Scottish, maybe, but not really. But
really plays a bagpipe. But
would you look under Piper's kilt? I mean, I wouldn't want to, even if you were a gay man. I mean, he's got little blue pants under there. Why look?
I had his figure when I was a kid, and he had the kilt on. You couldn't remove it, so
So could you see under, or was it just hard molded?
It was hard molded. One I had.
Someone should have just released a couple with little willy under there.
Bet Gaz has got one like that. He's made it himself.
Yes, I've got a little willy under there kilt.
Gaz's mum comes in, and Gaz has just got his tongue up his kilt, kind of give him a little rimming.
Have you got a camera?
I just know you well.
Oh, fucking hell.
So basically, Sam's laughing. He's putting it on you, innit?
I just think what I would do, and then I just say about that's how.
Yeah. I've got a mate.
if we switch to Nitro, we have the Road Warriors. And it's meant to be the Nasty Boys, but thank God they don't come out. It's only the bloody Steiner brothers on motor fucking bikes. Who'd believe it? LOD come out, and I think they're looking incredibly early 90s and dated now. Like, I know we've had them back a few weeks, and I was quite excited to see the LOD, but it's starting to feel really old-fashioned, isn't it?
I feel like they don't give a shit. They're there for the money.
Yeah.
And also, I think they're probably in some of the worst physical shape. I think this is a point of a slump in their career where I know Hawk, I don't think Animal really was, but I know Hawk was like a big drugs guy, wasn't he? I don't know. I just look at them like they just, when they come back to WWF, I think, in 2000, wasn't it? Or they came back before that and then went away and then come back in 2000. And I feel like then they sort of like hit the gym and sort of tightened things up a bit. But here it just seems like they're in that sort of mid-career kind of, just fucking get the paycheck.
Yeah, they've not been hitting the gazebo, have they? And also, why did the Steiner brothers ride like 8 foot on a motorbike? They literally come and just literally, and they were there.
Yeah, Scott went all the way around to the other side of the ring, and
But
Rick
went
didn't,
up.
did he? Rick bottled it. He went, no.
Can't
It's a
really
funny
do it.
thing, isn't it? The vehicular entrance, because you're not doing it as an actual sort of like, you're not using it as like to get you from A to B.
There's no need
You know
for a
what
mode of transport, is there?
I would have it shoot to the big screen and just see me at a bus stop. And then the number 36 comes along, and then 25 minutes later, when my match is due,
You get out.
just the bus pulls down the alley, down the
That'd be
highway,
a great
wherever the bus stop.
entrance. That's like a Grado type entrance.
That's kind of good, isn't it?
I quite
actually?
like that. You
Yeah,
should have
you've-
that
yeah.
when you go
You've
to
actually-
Colchester and
yeah,
you've got to wrestle.
If you
We'll
ever
come
go
in
to a
a-
wrestling event,
We'll come
Do
in
it.
on a CM3 minibus.
ideally, I'd want to come in like Mabel and have you two carrying me on a throne.
Oh, yeah.
Sam, you're going to be working out, so
It's going to be
you're in good enough shape,
unbalanced,
lads.
isn't it? Oh, you need 4 of us.
No way, not
We
with
have to have
guns,
Lowell
lads.
and Emily as well.
I like the idea of just dragging you on like a sled.
Or a bit of carpet.
Yeah, yeah, something like that, like we found
Right.
Falling off,
On a bit of tarpaulin.
That's it. It was found in the garden.
getting like
Oh.
carpet birds and everything.
We could bring you in on a wheelchair and you could have glasses on and go, I want that one.
Cutting that out. Ruin it.
That was
Anyone
good.
else feel this is a bit mad that they've given away the Steiner brothers return match against the LOD as well? Because we've been pushing LOD as like this great
Yeah, I'd
big
rather
new
had a
team.
squash.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking. I
felt
one of these
like
teams
no
is
one-
look a bit chumpy.
Yeah, that's it. I don't. This is Nitro though. I feel like that's a pay-per-view match somewhere.
100%.
And just, I'm like, great. Now one of these amazing teams has got to just lose on Nitro.
So where had Steiners have been in WWF, hadn't they? And then gone what, Japan or something? Or
What year were in 96?
96.
They haven't been in WWF for.
no, so they were not in WWF. Then they went what, Japan, and they're not been back since. Is this what's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they
thing?
disappeared to Japan for about 3 or 4 years, didn't they?
okay?
Really, yeah, I think, yeah, they did mention that because they were in WWF in like 92, 93.
Yeah,
they
I was going
weren't
to say 92,
long.
93. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they
they
left, excuse me, prior to that, like in the late 80s, they wanted to make Scott a single guy and make him a champion, and he wouldn't split up with his brother Rick because
Oh.
he felt loyalty to him, and he was like, he'd worried that Rick would just sort of flounder off. So yeah, he stayed.
kinda
'Cause he had
sweet in a
I
way.
think he had a title match against Flair at a pay-per-view in the 80s, I think, and it wasn't very good.
I know we're going off topic, but I liked Scott Steiner, his big pop-up pump. He did that singles one. I thought it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He could have been a champion for. I know he was probably a champion a few times. We'll come to find out, but he could have been like a long-standing. Could have had a good run with the belt just based on his look, couldn't he?
Yeah, he had a good chance, probably like a 33 and a third % chance
Yeah.
that he could have been
Yeah.
champ for a long time.
Greatest promo of all time.
That was so good.
Yeah.
You've got to be kind of clever to actually just do that fucking promo, haven't you?
I think
I'm not
it's sort of-
saying, I don't mean mathematically. I just mean like to fucking pull it all off and remember it and do it. That takes a.
I just think he made it up.
I think he came up with some stupid maths and he thought he'd got it right.
Yeah.
and
That's
ploughed
what
on.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go.
It's
Conviction.
like listening to you, Sam.
Was the maths not right? I thought it was pretty spot on. I mean, maths is subjective, isn't it? What you
Yeah,
might think
yeah.
is
Shades of grey, isn't it?
It's all opinion based,
I mean,
isn't
you
it?
can interpret it how you
However you
want.
like.
You seem to be having ear trouble, Sam. Are you all right?
I've got an itchy ear all of a sudden.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Anyway, Hulk, he throws some chops on Scott, but he gets tossed around with some suplexes while Animal talks a lot of shit on the apron to them. Hulk comes back out with a neck breaker and Animal power slams Scott for a 2 count, but Rick comes in and just starts suplexing the shit out of everyone. A top rope belly to belly, and this is just like heavy hitting move after heavy hitting move in this one. Scott with his own suplex on Animal, and he hangs him in the tree of woe, but he gets booted in the corner, so can't make any use of that. We get a big boys play from Bobby Heenan. Does that count?
How could you not say it?
Everyone is ready for where the big boys play. I want to find out what.
Because does that get included?
Yeah.
Well, do you think though, like
Yeah.
Bobby sat there, thought, "Come on, Eric, this is big boys.
Yeah,
they're playing. Someone
Eric
should
never
say
said
it."
it.
And then Eric's
With
not saying it.
resurrecting us.
They were
tonight.
muting their headsets, and he was like, and Eric's like, no, it's too obvious. Let's say it when we've got like fucking Psychosis versus Eddie Guerrero. In the ring.
Yeah. Disco Inferno's having a fight.
We'll
Let's
remind
throw it in
them when there's no big boys on the screen. We'll remind them this is also where the big boys
They
play.
will play eventually. Yeah, that's it. We get a hot tag to Hulk, and he power slams both the Steiners. We get the Doomsday Device on Rick, but Scott makes the save. A Frankensteiner on Animal, but Hulk makes the save. Eventually, Steiner's with a flying bulldog on Hulk, but Animal hits Rick with the spiked shoulder pad. Shitty interference, and he pins Hulk after 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Zero psychology. I'd say for 50% of this match, the referee was like an AEW referee where the tag teams just run in and done whatever they want. I bloody loved it though.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. It's just huge, stupid moves. I've got no complaints.
Didn't need psychology really, does it?
No,
Because you just
not
got
at all.
4 meatheads. Also, I noticed, and this is really geeky, on the Doomsday Device, Rick Steiner just took a flat back bump. You notice that? Usually, for a Doomsday Device, they do the clothesline and Hawk will flip like that, the person. So they do a backflip and basically land almost on top of it, but just land on their stomach. But for some reason, I wondered if there was a reason, if Rick was too big because they weren't in that great a shape, or Rick had previously said, "Don't fucking flip me over."
Fuck, dude.
But I just
I
noticed
like the
it,
idea of that one.
Yeah, he just said,
fucking dare.
Don't you do it.
he always gave that really good push, and
Yeah,
then with
flips them
Animal,
over.
with Hawk's clothesline, they would
Break
just
their
sort of,
necks.
and they never did break on his neck doing it, as far as I know. But yeah, for some reason that night they just sort of fell back with him for a much safer way of doing it. So unless Rick had some sort of nagging injury, or
Just didn't fancy
who
it.
knows? But there you go.
Gaz, what's your thoughts? What minute details have you watched?
It was 4 big boys playing quite harshly as well with each other. They looked like they were beating the shit out of each other at one point. Like, I actually did think it was getting into proper fisticuffs.
Yeah.
I think that's what the 4 of them enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like them beat the
seemed like
shit
that.
out of
But
each other.
what's WW's obsession with a spike? Anything, a stiletto, a forearm from a pad, an actual spike?
Are we meant to believe these are like really sharp metal spikes? Because they're clearly not.
Fuck knows. But they're taking
They
out
used
everyone.
to be, didn't they? In the NWA, in the old days, they were proper aluminium metal spikes, and then everyone used to mock them because when they went to WWF for their first run, they turned them into little foam spikes. And I remember reading stuff and people going, "Oh, they don't use real spikes anymore; they're just foam things."
But they didn't use them before, did they? Just wore them.
No, I don't know why it mattered. Yeah,
No.
Yeah, I've never seen it used as an outside foreign object before.
but definitely in the old days, they had the black pads and the silver spikes. You know, when they used to just wear the black makeup, and yeah, but I just know people used to go, "It's fake now, isn't it?"
Yeah.
And I remember
Now.
a
Yeah.
friend of mine telling me that the ultimate the Ultimate Warrior wore that string around his arms to make his muscles big. And I used to think like they were giving the
You're
impression.
doing now.
Yeah, they were giving the impression that if when he takes those string off, he just has normal arms. Like they were like, "Oh, it's so fake." Like, that's how fake wrestling is. That like, see that the reason he wears that string to like make his muscles like that. And
I want to see you next week, Sam, wearing 2 armbands.
Shoelaces
Just
tied up.
yeah.
don't I look like I am already?
Leave it on for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
you.
But your finger falls off elastic bands.
It's like when you get one of those watermelons and you try and make
There you
it
go,
past.
yes, I'm
It's that for Emily later.
starting to swell her up. And it's like, yeah, I need to get a bit of a pump on it.
Got really weird
And
in this
Birdie's
episode,
hair
Sam.
ties.
So
I am.
Dirty.
This is what I'm like sober, yeah, and I'm like God knows how many weeks sober now, so I've started to go fucking insane. Apart from
drinking
now,
wine.
I've been allowed a wine, and it's so hard. It's been so hard not just to neck fist. I could have just got the whole glass and just gone, and then just
Steve Austin.
Just do it.
I'm trying to be refined because
Steve Austin, Gangrel.
Because I want to enjoy it, and also I'd like to have a glass of wine when I finish. Take a glass of wine to bed and watch Sweet Tooth. So
lovely. We get Mean Gene Oakland. He comes out to interview this.
He's off.
The old Sam's back again, isn't he? Oh, yeah. We get Mean Gene out to interview the Steiners. King of the promo, Scott, tells us
We've been hunting the Road Warriors for 4 years now.
he said they come to WCW for them, and how they won tonight was a disgrace. Mean Gene says the Nasty Boys were taken out. What happened with that? Scott completely sandbags that question and ignores it.
You haven't seen the last of us.
Rick then shouts,
The end, Mean Gene. This ain't the end.
I'm kind of glad to see the Steiners back because they're a decent team. I still feel like I'm with you, Sam. They've thrown away a pay-per-view worthy match for no reason, and just no need whatsoever. You know,
Is it because they've got no plans for them? Because they've got obviously Luger and Sting versus Road Warriors, LOD.
Yeah, we find out later on that Luger's not in that match anymore, though, is he?
No,
I don't know. I just don't know what's going on.
Jimmy Hart's got power of attorney and taken Lex Luger out of that match, so
it's just like a Britney Spears situation.
Yeah.
Why do people keep giving Jimmy Hart power of fucking attorney?
He knows what he's doing, isn't he?
Oh God,
Kevin Sullivan, he can sort.
He's got a megaphone, so he's obviously in charge.
He who shouts loudest and all that.
If we switch to Raw, we get replays of what happened with Roddy Piper and Goldust. And then we have the Godwins versus Alex Poitou and Jeremy Meade. All four men are in the ring. There's a dog there. Honestly, I haven't got a clue what was happening at this point. Phineas does a sort of crazy mad hillbilly thing. He starts freaking out and doing mule kicks on them.
That was great.
Mad.
Did you not like that?
Like it was insane. What's the point? Poitou comes in with a body press attempt on Pig, but he gets slammed instead. Hog finishes with a slop drop after a minute. This was fucking awful. Really awful.
What was old Jerry wearing? Black leather shorts and a black shirt.
Well,
I don't know what was going on with
leather shorts.
Yeah, he had black leather shorts on the guy and a black t-shirt. I just didn't understand what was going on with this match. What was the point of the match?
I think it was just such a short match. He thought, I'm not getting fully changed.
Just going to have my pants and my t-shirt.
So I'll just take my trousers off. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute anyway.
Won't even get sweaty. I'm only out there.
Back refilling the vending machines, and I'll be off to the next fucking building to do that.
Lunatic's going to go around pretending to do mule kicks for some unknown reason. Absolute rubbish. Absolute tripe. We get a rundown of the WrestleMania. Of course you did. We get a rundown of the WrestleMania card, and Jim Ross, he gives us a report from Shawn Michaels in his hometown of Texas.
My friend and my mentor, Super Sock Jose Lothario.
We get to see Shawn training with him a lot. We watch HBK run up some stairs like Rocky. He does some monkey bars. He's doing some press-ups in front of the American camera because USA, baby. We then get to see Bret Hart in Calgary, and he's in a rubbish cap, and he touches his face all the time during his interview. He says he came up in tough wrestling roots. He keeps saying the word tough, and he says he doesn't know any tough Mexican wrestlers because they're all wusses. We then see Stu Hart stretching him again. Weirdo. He says,
you know, he reminds me more of a tennis ball bouncing around in the ring, but he doesn't really have any real effective moves.
Which I thought was a good analogy for Shawn. Brett then tells us it drives him mad that people think HBK is better than him. He points out Shawn is good, but not the best. I thought this was tripe. I thought this was rubbish. It was completely forced. They tried something different, but I found it boring. I thought Brett was a bit heelish.
Yes, I agree. He was putting himself obviously massively over and not giving Shawn any credit at all, was he? Basically saying, I'm tougher than Shawn. Shawn's a big wuss, and he does all that high flying lucha stuff, and that's not going to win you wrestling. Get your dads to try and break your leg. That'll get you to win it.
You'll see this lunatic. He'll stretch his leg, brother. Yeah, I thought the whole there's no tough Mexican wrestlers and all that sort of stuff was it's just a bit unnecessary and mean, isn't it? So
I was hoping. Sorry, go on, Sam.
Yeah, so that the angle that Jose Lothario was his mentor and trainer, and actually Jose Lothario did Shawn Michaels like a 3-month training camp, and then before he moved on to his proper training. And I don't know the exact amount of time, but he was not his mentor. He was nothing like that. I know it's wrestling, kayfabe, brother, but he trained him for a very short time before he went on to do his actual like sort of longer training. But I think it's because he was a known name. It's San Antonio, Texas, isn't it? I think he's quite big there. And he was with him for a while, wasn't he? He was with him through Royal Rumble next year, Survivor Series. I think his championship run, because Sid hits Jose Lothario with a camera. Jesus. I think at Survivor Series. And then powerbombs Shawn outside and beats him for the title. And Shawn wins it back. Yeah. It happened 25 years ago. So,
watch that now, Elias. So, what did you think of it, though, Sam? Did you like the...
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I didn't think... I thought Bret was just coming across as just sort of real, wasn't he? He's kind of dropped that kind of... the whole sort of like little nugging the little kids and being this sort of all-round superhero. I think he's just sort of saying what he thinks, isn't he, really? And I know Bret hated this comparison because he said that Shawn Michaels looked like Superman running up these stairs and then doing these upside down push-ups, and then Bret is like gingerly running along in the ice and then getting beat up by his dad. Like he said it in his book. He said it was shit. Michaels looked amazing. He's punching a bag, he's sweating, and then he said, I'm wearing a
floor crying because my dad's got me in a headlock trying to choke me
and he's
out.
like, and it was really icy for the jogging, so he's like going really slow and sort of decrepit. And but I'm watching that. I thought he didn't come across like that. He looked like Rocky training, just using what's around him to train, isn't he? And Michaels, well, I guess Michaels was too, but I didn't mind it. It didn't exactly set me pulse racing, but
for a Mania main event, it feels a bit pedestrian, doesn't it, so far? But we've still got a few weeks to go, I guess.
I like the idea of having a proper Rocky montage with Shawn, where it cuts to his training montage and it's drugs and blowjobs and Sonny and Kevin Nash, and it's just like all the interspersed.
But then he's still getting up at 5 a.m. and running up those
drinking raw eggs and then doing a line and going for a run. That's what I was hoping for.
Adrian,
didn't get it.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. Not for me. Not for me.
But you can see in this how much it eats up at Bret. This comparison to Shawn, that's real. And I quite like that he wants to be the best, and he feels like everyone thinks Shawn's better than him because he flies around when he doesn't, take a chin lock from an old man for 20 minutes or whatever it is. So I like that. I thought it was good.
I get Bret's frustration, but the fact is he shouldn't have let it get to him. Because like a few years ago, he got his first title run. And then he loses to Yokozuna, and then in 20 seconds, Hulk Hogan beats Yokozuna and becomes a champion. So they're like, we're not, Hulk's gone. So we were going with you, Bret. You're the guy. Oh, what? Hulk wants to come back? Yeah, just give him the title. Because, we're not. And then on his way to winning his next title, isn't it? Well, actually, they really wanted it to be Lex Luger and a Lex Express and all this fanfare. Then they worked out Lex isn't going to fucking be the man. So they sort of go to Bret, and then Shawn comes up, and then they're like, well, let's give, I do get that stop-start kind of, he just is so fucking convinced, and he's probably right, but he is the best, most reliable, always there, doesn't get injured, doesn't do drugs, doesn't hurt people, but they're always sort of going to him at the moment as like a caretaker champion. As soon as anyone else comes, Vince is so quick to push it away. And I think he obviously knows he's doing the job at Mania. So he just wants to say, doesn't he?
He doesn't have the razzmatazz, though, does he?
No, but I think I think Vince sees him. Bret, he just sees Bret as being, you just interim champ. You hold it until somebody better comes along.
Very dependable.
You're very
reliable,
steady pair of hands. Yeah.
Good worker.
But if it weren't Bret, it'd be someone else to be in that position, because you always need people like that, don't you, around? I guess that someone you can rely on. But if someone better comes along, it's like with Sam, we rely on him, but eventually we'll find someone better to replace him. So
fucking hope so.
If we switch to Nitro, we get a promo for Uncensored on March the 24th, and we get our new TV champion out, which is Lex Luger. He beat Johnny B. Bad on WCW Saturday Night Alex Wright comes out because he's facing Alex Wright. Sorry, he comes out first, and in the Wrestling Observer, they note that there was a poll done by WCW at this time, and Alex Wright came out pretty high as a fan favorite. So I'll expect to see a decent push from him. Interestingly, guys like Guerrero, Benoit, Malenko, and Mr. JL came out very high on the list because apparently wrestling fans like wrestlers who can wrestle. So. That's madness, isn't it?
Not on this show, they bloody don't.
Yes, that's not what Big Boys play, so.
Absolutely loved that Lex Luger came out of both belts. And I was waiting for Mongo to go, he's won another belt. Because last week...
Where's that belt come from?
So he's now the TV and US champ. No. Lexi 2 belts, I called him here.
I'm not a big fan of anyone having 2 belts, but I'm all right if it's a tag belt and a singles belt. 2 singles titles never works. Tag belt, singles belt, I think that's all right.
Omega at the moment, he's got about 7. He's got the AAA.
I don't know who he is.
AEW.
What's AEW?
He's in the. He's just got all the belts.
All the belts. Never heard of him, mate.
Because you're not a wrestling fan, Dave.
I'm not really.
Communist.
Just make it up as a go along. I've not even watched Raw ever.
But
before this match, we got a weird promo. We got like a weird promo package for Mean Gene's hotline, where he's basically just sort of creeping around wrestlers like a peeping Tom.
Yeah, like that.
The Nitro sex line. I like it.
It was weird, wasn't it?
He's hiding, yeah.
Yeah, just creeping around like a local.
He was in a swimming pool, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's under a table in a restaurant and stuff.
Were you sitting there, Dave, taking notes? Oh, that's what I need to be doing.
Taught him everything he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Down the
I was going to say I would just be in the women's locker room, but they probably don't have a locker room, do they? It's like 2 women on the roster, and they probably just get dressed in like the broom closet somewhere, while Ric Flair just fucking paces backwards and forwards,
snorting cocaine off their arse,
wooing.
Fucking hope so. That's what I expect from him. Before the match starts, we get another Where the Big Boys play from Eric. He's on fire with them. He's resurrected this tonight, hasn't he?
All right, we are back, and we are back live. WCW, where the big boys play. And
we hear Johnny B. Bad couldn't hang with the big boys from Eric. Johnny B. Bad was leaving WCW at this point for WWE, and by God, Eric buries the shit out of him on commentary tonight, doesn't he? He talks about him being a wuss and can't really keep up with things, can he? So, see you later, B. Bad.
When did the whole 90-day no-compete thing come in? Because Johnny B. Bad is in King of the Ring, he like the Wild Man Mark Merrow. Back then, they could just be in Raw the next day, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Well, you'll notice this as well because Nash is currently working his notice as well with WWE. He's handed his notice in on WWE and will be leaving. So, and at this time as well, like Vince is happy to still carry on using him and have him at shows and is continuing just to book him strong because. I just don't think they really care at this point. That's
no. I guess it's when the rivalry hits up. But the 90-day no-compete clause is like that can't even be lawful, can it? That's like
it can't have come in for ages because you think, what did Rick Rude do? Did he not? Like he was on an episode of Raw, then he was on Nitro
the same night,
wasn't he? So it can't have been for a good.
You can't stop someone from earning a living for 3 months. Well, you can if you put it. If you put it on a bit of paper and then they sign that bit of paper, but. It's a douchey thing, isn't it? Like, okay, you can't earn a living for 3 months. And we all assume these guys are millionaires because they're on TV. They're fucking not, are they? Because they're paying for their own hotels, accommodations. They're only getting paid per show and all these things. Like,
I don't think they're doing too bad out of it, though, to be honest with you. But
no, I don't ever think
there's a lot of skint wrestlers, though, aren't there?
Yeah, but a lot of that's down to their own personal choices.
Yeah, true.
You know. They've got an opportunity that they could do all right for themselves compared to your average Joe. They're earning more than you and I put together, aren't they? Let's be honest. And it's just lots of them don't choose to be that wise with their money.
I like the idea of Diesel working his notice.
Yeah, just coming into the punching in, boss.
Yeah. Are you going to phone it in again, are you, Kevin?
Vince is like, there's some filing out the back. I need you to just put these in alphabetical order or something. And he's like, oh, Jesus, fucking great. Chopping up a coffin last week. What am I doing? Early on in this one, Alex Wright, he takes the arm and he takes him down with a nice flying head scissors, putting Luger on the floor. Wright seems to be working on the back for this match, but Luger dumps him out to take over and he press slams him and gives him a bit of punishment in the corner. Wright comes in with a body press, which was a pretty cool high-flying move from him. Luger necks him in the corner and slaps him around a bit in a disrespectful way. We get the missile drop kick from Wright, and he goes up again, but Jimmy Hart appears, and he pushes him off. We get the stun gun to the top rope from Lex for the finish at 6 minutes and 36 seconds. Post-match, Lex is really annoyed with Jimmy that Jimmy was there. I thought the finish was shitty with the Jimmy Hart interference and stun off the top rope rubbish. I quite enjoyed this match. I thought Alex Wright is always enjoyable to watch. And I thought the pacing and everything actually suited Lex Luger and made Lex look quite good.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it? Gareth, what did you think of Alex Wright and Lexi Luger, our TV champ?
Oh, Alex Wright, he's a high-flying mofo, isn't he? Getting a lot of big airs. But yeah, you're right. This really suited Lex, being that sort of arrogant heel, slapping him about, showing how much stronger he is than Alex Wright as well. I mean, there was a bit where, does he press slam Alex Wright, doesn't he, at one point?
Yep.
To which Mongo says it's like him press slamming Pepe. And I thought, really do that sort of thing, Mongo, to your dog.
Alex Wright's looks so sad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
he
massive,
is a big lad, isn't he? But I didn't like the ending with Jimmy Hart, but they seem to do a fucking run-in or something, you know.
I feel like
the ending every week.
Can't the run-ins be a bit more like, just a bit more creative than I'm going to push you off the top rope every week? That's what I asked for.
Do it a bit like AEW with the Young Bucks.
Not an LOD spike, though.
No. But then
somewhere between a spike and a push off the top rope.
I said, what is it? A shoe? An actual spike? Like a spike off a forearm of an elbow? What's the mean? Because you literally look at a knife, you're just going to stab someone. Just pin him now. That's that, yeah. But I loved Lex again this week. I think he's brilliant. He's
hit on gold here with this
he has, isn't he? Yeah.
So if we switch back to Raw, we get the slam of the week, which was Yoko Ono crushing two jobbers with a bonsai drop. Oof. We're going there. Then we get Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Ben Greer. Trips comes out with a chick. We learn that he'll wrestle the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania. This sexy valet takes his jacket and kisses him. Then he weirdly wipes the kiss off his mouth as she leaves. Triple H pedigree, 90 seconds, bosh.
Because she just sucked him off, I reckon. And he remembered. He kissed her and he went, oh no! Because he's that immature.
No.
Oh, she's just been sucking Shawn off. No, I don't want Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, no, you're right, Shawn. I don't mind. Yeah, I'll just iron your tights for you.
Sure.
Yeah, no, she's my real life girlfriend, but I don't mind.
Yeah. Right. Sharesies.
Yeah. So do you think I'm winking a ring this year or talk to Vince?
You see Vince soon? You're going to chat to him about me? So, it was a pretty rubbish squash match, wasn't it? We seem to be getting back to squash matches on Raw, don't we? And not very good.
I liked all the Ultimate Warrior chat, comparing him to a shark and a cheetah and having all these. There's been numerous Warrior sightings over the last 3 years and all this sort of thing. Really hyping him up. I hope the run's going to be. He's going to go to the moon.
To the fucking moon.
These are some words that Vince will wish he never said. He's back and you ain't seen nothing yet. And I just thought, yeah, and you're not going to. You know, literally, you're going to see nothing.
He was here. I still like him. I'm looking forward to him coming back. Fingers crossed, but yeah.
I like Ultimate Warrior though. Like, forget Jim Hellwig.
Yep.
Just a fucking maniac comes out to heavy metal thrash music. Like, this is kind of where smart wrestling. Like, okay, we can all be smart. We all want to talk about the psychology and like ring work and all this kind of stuff. And people say, well, Warrior shouldn't have been on the spot in the card he was. Yes, he should. Because he looks like he's from another planet.
Yeah.
I always have this thing if I go and watch like a local show or whatever, and then like a 12-year-old like called fucking Shawn comes out and he's got kick pads and like some shorts and he's like really skinny and like I'm like, he's gonna have a fucking wrestling match. This, like, if I could literally beat the kid up myself, he shouldn't be going to the fucking ring, should he? Doing an acrobatic display. Ultimate Warrior, a machine. I truly believe he could rip any man's limbs off if he wanted to. I got to
end sentence there.
And then it got me.
I like the idea of the Warrior sightings being like Bigfoot or like a UFO.
Yeah.
Vince has just been looking for him. He's been on an Ultimate Warrior hunt for 3 years.
Vince's hotline where you just have to phone back. Vince, I've seen the Warrior. I saw the face paint in his shop.
Where is he? He was he was bargaining booze, buying a bottle of scotch or something. I don't know, whatever.
Vince is probably shitting himself. He's actually hoping that someone can find him. Jesus Christ. You're right, mate. It's the eyes.
No,
it's
I've
the
rubbed
nose.
shit in my face.
What have you done
Why
tonight?
have you rubbed shit in your face? What
Fucking hell.
weird fucking thing happens in your house?
I bought them off someone, some
What shit?
magic beans.
I bought some shit off someone.
And he went, just rub this in your face, mate. No, I've rubbed cream in my face, haven't I, by accident?
This is the strangest night
Oh,
ever,
it's
isn't
just
it?
gone weird. Keep going, Dave. Keep going.
Maybe
if
I'm allergic to wine now.
Just allergic to podcasting. If we switch to Nitro, Flair, woman, Elizabeth, green robe, ticks all my boxes. He's a superstar, isn't he? Absolute superstar. We have our lumberjacks who are all in red plaid shirts and look fucking ridiculous.
I like the fact they've just put them over the top of their wrestling attire. Just put it over the top. Don't worry about it.
Just in case, because otherwise we won't know who the lumberjacks are and who aren't. They've all got their straps on the outside. Hulk, Macho, and the Booty Man are out again. It feels like we're just rehashing the same matches here because we've got Hulk, Randy, Booty Man, Sullivan, Flair, and Anderson. We see this. It's not even like they try and change up the pairing. It's just the same thing. Anyway,
Who got sent to Walmart that day to buy 45 lumber
I need XXXXL for all of them.
Yeah. And I like that Sir Bobby of Eton and William Regal or Stephen Regal had their ruffles out.
Yes,
of the lumberjack
that's
jackets.
good.
This was a real case of everyone on the outside trying to get themselves over, brother, though, wasn't it? This is we'll see a lot of that in this one. There's straps involved. No one is strapped together. They've just got straps as weapons. It's a massive schmoz of just the faces beating the heels. Loch Ness on the outside, he accidentally hits the Giant and they have a bit of a spat, which is a feud I hope goes absolutely nowhere. Then the Diamond Doll comes out. She spins around holding some roses and looks a little bit disappointed. No one knows why she's there. On the outside, the Lumberjacks are all fighting each other from a podcasting point of view where you're writing down what is happening and why this is fucking insane. Everyone's getting whipped. No one seems to know why they're whipping people. Guys get thrown outside. They get whipped. They get back in. They get whipped. Whole lot of nothing. Load of bullshit. Hogan beats on Flair with a strap. Big boot. Leg drop. Bish bash bosh. 6 minutes, 23 seconds. I just thought this is one of the worst things I've seen in wrestling. It was just, I thought it was so bad it was good, then it just got bad, because everyone was just whipping each other. No one was selling anything anymore. It was just insane. There was no point to it.
No, when you saw Hogan beating on Kevin Sullivan, did anyone think that was really surreal? Because he looked like as we've been saying for months, a fat, short version of himself. Literally exactly the same, and he's just beating him up. Like, if you'd have just turned it on, you'd have been like, "Oh, they're doing the whole Undertaker thing." And they've found a guy, and we've got a fake Hogan.
I like that idea. What a great storyline.
Fat, yeah.
Kevin Sullivan thinks he's Hulk,
and you're they're like, "Who's the real one?" And one's like this, and all podgy, and
both in the ring.
You can't tell them apart. Yeah.
What did you think of the 6-man lumberjack strap match, Gareth?
I love the idea of a 6-man lumberjack strap man jack tornado match. I can't seem to work out what goes through. Like they're doing their writing or their booking when Eric Bischoff turns, let's do a 6-man double strap lumberjack match, lads. And I go, yeah, fucking great. Let's go for it.
This makes sense.
What? As you said, it's just turned into a free-for-all of just who can you smack? I don't like him. I'm going to stand near him and just whip him.
The other problem was to me. Everyone on the outside was trying to do stuff to get themselves on telly and over. They were trying to get their minutes on telly, like you say, with Stephen Regal with his ruffles out and everything. Everyone was just trying to do that little something to stand out, and that meant whipping the life out of people, whipping someone who came outside. It was
not selling. Hawk getting smacked several times, just standing there going.
That was good at the end.
Yeah, we're giving up on selling here. So,
but what was Diamond Doll doing?
I don't.
So she's come out with some flowers. So they're implying she fancies the booty man, who wouldn't, obviously. But why does she wait until a 6-man double strap lumberjack match when there's men all around the ring? They're inside fighting and going, Now I'll give him the flowers.
Not-
That's
yeah.
when they'll come out.
If a girl fancied me, I want flowers. I've got no need for flowers.
I don't know. I reckon you'd like some flowers, Dave.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
If any of our fans want to send me flowers, then don't. Just send me the cash equivalent. I'll cash app. I'll put my cash app on screen and send me a few quid.
I like it.
Flair got a massive pop when he poked Hogan in the eye.
Who
Have
wouldn't?
you noticed that? It was like all going on, and then Flair done his poke in the eye, and everyone's like, "Way!" The fans can't seem to decide whether they like Hogan or not. But I don't know whether it's a regional thing, whether you're in a smart town or more of a kid-based town, because sometimes Hogan gets a huge response.
Yeah, he can't he? Yeah.
Sometimes it's mixed and sometimes it's booze. I think it depends where they are in the country.
By and large, WCW crowds love Flair and the Four Horsemen.
He's NWA, isn't he? He's
So
Jim Crockett.
He could do anything. They just cheer him.
Yeah, and they love that smarmy, limousine riding character, don't they? So as soon as he's poking Hogan in the face, it's just like, brilliant. I can see why they would, but
I mean, I'm gonna 2 weeks in a row here. Terry is letting me down by just whooping everyone's ass, isn't he?
Jesus,
I mean,
literally in this one.
Yeah, but he got thrown outside. He started getting whipped. Everyone's taking shots at him, and then he turns around and just like takes on 6 guys, knocks them all out, goes back in. I know he's the immortal one, and Sam's turning into a werewolf, scratching himself and whatever else.
Really irritated.
And but yeah, come on, someone's got to sell something. I think the only person saying there was Kevin, Mini Hulk, Taskmaster Sullivan.
It's just a case of everyone's trying to get themselves over, but not doing it in a very good way.
Yeah, everyone going in for themselves, so therefore no one goes. No one stands out. I liked Hogan even did his dick in the face pin, didn't he?
Yes, didn't he?
I've read that this is something he used to do as like either a bit of a rib or like a fuck you, because he doesn't always do it. He literally puts his whole Hulkaroo in your face.
Dong face.
Why did they get Hulk to pin Flair? Like, you've got Taskmaster. Get him to pin Kevin.
One thing I was 100% certain about, I didn't know anything was going to happen, but one thing I knew for definite is that Kevin Sullivan would be the guy taking the fall from Hogan. But they, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, get Hulk to pin the champ. Yeah.
But you know why? Because Hulk Hogan's gone in the back and has gone, I want to pin Ric Flair. I want to stick my dick in his face.
With my dick.
Yeah, no, 100%. I bet
I'm going to stuff my balls in his face and I'm going to win.
I bet Hogan was firming up because he got his way, didn't he? As he's there, he's like, oh, this is how I fucking...
He's like Gareth. He's had so many steroids, it's shriveled to nothing, isn't it? So...
That's Sam. He's on steroids.
His dick's quite big still, actually.
Sam's on steroids. He's buying bad ones. He's got the placebos because they haven't taken effect yet, have they? So... if we switch to Raw, we have Scheme Gene reporting on the geriatric match at Mania. We're poking fun at Mean Gene's hotline. He tells us...
Wait, I can't believe this one. The Huckster and the Nacho Man. The WWF is going to give it away for free on the free-for-all.
As they can't figure out how to make a buck on it. Ladies' shoes are banned from ringside. It's more they were more worried that WCW were going to sue them, so that's why they put it on there. We see the Huckster doing some squats and training, and predictably he is struggling a bit. Needs to get down the gazebo, mate, doesn't he? The Nacho Man is training, but he gets his bald spot sprayed black, which I might give a go to, and then Billionaire Ted will be the guest referee. Just rubbish.
Yeah, this was not a good skit.
If we switch back to Nitro for the end there, we have Mean Gene in the ring with the heels. Ric Flair bails and Mean Gene shouts at him and says,
Hey, what am I? Chopped liver? Sullivan, come here.
The heels talk about how much they hate Hulk Hogan, and at Uncensored, we've got a 4-cage match coming up where Hulk will fight all of them and Lex Luger.
Now, nothing that happened here tonight even vaguely resembles professional wrestling.
Never a truer word spoken by
you weren't wrong, was he?
Anderson there, isn't it? Oh. Flair shouts Hogan a few times. He runs the ropes, which petrifies Mean Gene. Woman then says, Savage, he's got your woman. Rick says he's got the whole world in his hands, while Kevin Sullivan is on his knees. We end with the trademark WCW finish of Ric Flair screaming, while Bobby, Eric, and Mongo try and recap what's happened. Overall, I thought the main event was absolutely bad, but the rest of it I didn't actually mind. I thought on paper with like Giant versus Jim Duggan would be shit, and Lex Luger versus Alex Wright, but I quite enjoyed it all.
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? I did like Mongo at the end saying about the heels. I don't know what they're bragging about. They just got their towels whipped. They should be slinking off with their towels between their legs, but they're here talking in the ring. Is this the first smark on record that we've got?
Do you think that's what he's going to start? We're going to see.
Yeah, that's where he's going. That's where he's going with it. But it's true. They've got their asses handed to them, giving it all the big one. And they've all got to fight Hogan in a cage now. He's got like the 4 cages of doom, whatever it is, isn't it?
That's not going to end well for them, is it?
No.
What did you think of the show overall, Sam? Was you a Nitro fan of this one?
It was like, yeah, it was. It wasn't great, was it? Really?
There we
Sorry,
go.
Yeah, no. You heard it here first.
Well, I was trying to think. Overall,
Normally
Nitro
helps.
gives me a good feeling. It puts me in a happy place. But then reflecting back, really, there was nothing really to this show, was there? Other than LOD versus the Steiner brothers, everything else was pretty missable, wasn't it?
Mm.
Really, I'd have probably turned over and watched an episode of Nash Bridges or something. Because that's what was on telly. Yeah.
Is that what you did instead?
No, because I was no.
Too busy rubbing cream in the eyes and drinking wine.
But I am going to go and watch some Nash Bridges after this, I think, now, because I like that show.
Every cloud.
There was one for Mountie, Due South. I like that.
Oh, everyone liked that, but that wasn't 96, though, was it?
I saw Due South DVD box set in a charity shop the other day. All of them for $5. For some reason, I didn't buy it.
What, you Christmas shopping for Birdie?
Here you go, Birdie. Here's a sitcom from 1996 about a Canadian policeman.
If we switch to Raw, we get Owen and Bulldog with the Jobbers entrance in the ring. Yoko Ono is out first, and he looks fucking big in this one. He's looking big. We get the bong, dong, gong, schlong, whatever the noise is. Out comes the takeout. In the back, Diesel says he's ready for takeout and has to tag with Shawn at the weekend and hopes the rumours about him aren't true. Which I think we're implying that, Shawn will turn on him. I don't know.
Gay.
Who cares?
I don't know. All I can think is this.
Yes, black glove.
I've
My
got really sore
ex-girlfriend's
wrist.
gloves.
Been wanking off Shawn all day. My wrist is really sore.
Is that you talking, Gareth? Or...
Yeah,
Yes.
Who's Shawn? Is he your neighbour?
Yes.
All right, Sam, don't get jealous. Jesus Christ, calm down. Straight in there with that one, won't you?
Sexual tension's unreal with you
Whoa.
two. The babyfaces destroy Camp Corner. You just keep scratching yourself, Sam. It's like you've got coons.
I've got to go and have a cold shower.
It's like you're passing or something. The babyfaces destroy Camp Cornette to start on Yoko leg drops Bulldog and everyone evacuates while Diesel heads down and he starts beating up poor old Paul Bearer. You don't beat up Paul Bearer. The Undertaker walks away from the match to chase Diesel, leaving Yoko alone while we take a break. Back with the heels, working him over. Vader comes down for the DQ finish after 5 minutes and 36 seconds. Ahmed Johnson comes out to make the save and we have all 3 heels there. Then Jake Roberts is out again and he ends with referees coming down to break everything up. Nothing match. It's really poor. Vader DQ in a handicap match. We had that 2 weeks ago. This is exactly the ending we saw there. I've got overall, it's a poor wrestling show. The actual in-ring work was bad and promos and vinaigrettes were bad as well.
All I ever think of when I see Paul Bearer is that, have you seen that fan footage from years ago? Someone's filming him on an old camera and they say, Paul Bearer, it's my birthday, give me 5. And he just turns around and goes, I'll give you 5 inches. And everyone pisses themselves laughing. That's just what I think of when I see Paul Bearer now. This 5-inch little chubby wing. 5 inches ain't bad either, is it?
I'd take that.
Up the arse or in the mouth?
What's the implication when it's that? That's the joke there. Oh. You've had a wine and you've just
I like
got
it. He's had
crude.
2 wines in and it just snowballs.
Pure crudeness, isn't it? We're back to. So.
Got to go back to what brought you to the dance, haven't you?
Lasted a couple of weeks, didn't it?
done well.
What was your thoughts on the show, Gareth?
Yeah, it was poor, wasn't it, at best? Nothing really massive to say. I mean, jumping back a bit, Roddy Piper, what was he going on about? Talking about gold dust, calling him a cream puff. What was all that about?
That thing that happened 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
It was a tough watch again, wasn't it? They've been they've been tracking the right way, and then this week it seemed to go the wrong way.
The thing is, there's just nothing that wants me to go back and watch it again, which is bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
November to Dismember when the Sandman, and he has a match with Sabu, I think, doesn't he? Do you remember that? And then when he sets up the ladder. Oh no, is that not? We're not talking about that.
What are you talking about? Go on, keep going.
Oh, mate, joking. That's just
the thing is, I don't think you were.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing my ECW podcast.
Oh.
What I've been doing.
GG dumped that one as well.
No, I'll do it on the black web, this one, the dark web.
I go on there a lot. You can pick up some really good cheap deals and stuff. Sam, ratings.
No. Gaz, do you know?
No.
Yeah, I've got, of course, I got them here. Are you pair of
Trusted sauce, isn't it? Trusted sauce, mate.
Yeah. Raw was a 9.2. And Raw was 2.9 and Nitro was 3.2.
Getting bigger, though. Still, I say this every week, don't I? But it's creeping up.
When do they start the 82 weeks?
I don't know. 82 weeks of what? 83, wasn't it?
83 weeks. Yeah, sorry, it was only
Podcast.
a podcast.
That's the only reason I know.
I heard one week the ratings were rigged. Try saying that. One week the ratings were rigged.
After 2 glasses of red wine.
Glasses of wine.
And
all the
red
protein
wine.
That's
in
not
the
red
world.
wine. That's whiskey.
Blood.
I'm all hopped
I just
up
drink
on
petrol
protein
now.
shake.
So.
Yeah. When I finally get a text saying you can have a glass of wine tonight, I'll just fucking.
Just keep touching yourself. This is so weird. This episode.
Well, I'm
Just the
itchy,
amount
aren't
you
I?
keep itching yourself and rubbing.
I can't
your
help
face.
it.
Pops and flops, lads. What are we going for? Raw. My pop on Raw. I really struggled with this one because I thought the show was bad. So I picked Shawn Michaels doing press ups in front of an American flag.
Wow.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
And flop was all of the wrestling apart from the opening match because I didn't mind Steve Austin and Savio Vega, but the rest I thought was absolutely diabolical. Right, Sam, let's go with you because you'll drag us down.
Pop, stone cold, even though he had white boots on and no breaking glass. It wasn't so much seeing him because the match itself was quite underwhelming. It was more when I went to see what show we were watching and just seeing a thumbnail, and I was like, "There's Stone Cold Steve Austin."
It's proper Steve Austin, isn't it? As well,
we're getting close, yeah. And the flop, it was just the Godwins. I couldn't really find much else that I really hated, but I guess that's not the point of a flop.
It was all bad, though.
Yeah.
Which was the baddest of
I was
bad.
floppy for all of it, really. But then I saw a bald man in little black pants.
You thought, Gaz?
Something started to tingle. Yeah, I thought, why is
Nice.
this turning me on so much?
The weird thing is, I've actually got black pants on as we speak.
But weird thing is, I've actually got an erection. That's
keep
not
touching
weird,
yourself.
actually, is it?
Of course, that's going to say.
So we
That's
all
why.
podcasted
I'm like,
it.
oh, I'm going to come in. I've just got to hold it in.
Tantric sex for 3 hours podcasting. Guys, what was your raw pop and your raw flop?
No, I think that was an allergic reaction.
Jesus Christ. My raw pop, I said it was very hard to pick anything this week, but like yourself, David, I chose the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels video clips, and it was Bret being killed by his old man or trying to kill him. I thought that was brilliant.
Stu
Go on,
Hart,
Stu.
abusing
Stu
a
Hart
child.
was my pop for this week.
I think Stu just hates that Bret wears pink to the ring, doesn't
That's
he?
what
When
I
he
think
gets
it
a
is.
chance, he's like,
I think Stu Hart hates everyone.
Yeah, I do
Just
as well.
hates everything, doesn't he? He's so fucking miserable.
I wish his wife would have wrote like an all tell book, because I bet there'd have been some shit in there.
I think he beat her enough to not have to do that.
She was very quiet.
She got knocked about, didn't she? I don't know if that's true. But...
She got stretched.
Yes, yeah, she
in
did.
the dungeon.
Latex gloves.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah.
Share? Stu! Stretch him. That's it. What was your flop, Gareth?
Oh, the flop was it's one of those things where we said it earlier. You're sitting there, you're watching wrestling, And then someone walks in and goes, "What the fuck are you watching?" As Goldust is on all fours trying to look up a Scotsman's kilt while telling them that I used to beat up gays with a bat in '86.
You tranny.
Yeah, wrestling.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't deny that one at all.
Mm.
If we go to Nitro, my pop for Nitro was the Steiners versus the Road Warriors because I just loved them smashing the granny out of each other.
Mm.
At my flop, just the entire main event. I don't like 6-man lumberjack strap matches. I don't want to see one again.
Mm.
Sam, Nitro, pop.
Yeah, but
Flop.
the same as you. All of it is the same as you.
Is
LOD
it?
Steiners
Oh my
was
God.
pop, and the main event was the flop. Yeah, I was going to say them reverse just to cause anarchy and say my pop was the main event. But come on, can't always be crazy, old Sam. Can I?
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, isn't it? I love
Nice.
it.
Yeah, because I knew you'd wrote that. Yeah.
Sound like Stephen Fry. Gareth,
Yes.
pops, flops for Nitro.
Nitro this week. It can't be, can it? Yes, it's Lex Luger again versus Alex Wright.
Jesus.
I
Fair
enjoyed
play.
that match.
That was
I
a
thought it
very good match. If it hadn't have been for LOD, yeah.
Yeah, the Steiners were good
Right.
as well. I just couldn't do with the riding their motorbike 6 foot to the ring. That just annoyed me for some reason. I don't know why. Just did.
Pointless.
It was a good match for Lex, though. It seemed to suit Lex Luger and make him look better. And we don't often get that with Lex. He normally looks
No.
a bit of a dickhead and gets
Yeah.
shown up. So, yeah, happy days.
Yeah.
What flopped?
Well, God damn you, Terry. It was the main event and Hulk Hogan again and just everything about the end. Okay.
Whoa,
Hogan being
Whoa.
Hogan is always going to be weekly, I think, now. Got to take that with a pinch of salt.
You flopped for Hulk Hogan and you popped for Lex Luger.
I know. This is... Well, it's not just Hogan. It's the main event with Hogan in it.
Backtrack now. Don't backtrack now.
Was it
son.
the main event or was it Hogan?
It was Hogan in the fucking
Answer
main
the
event.
question.
I mean-
It's Hulk Hogan or nothing.
It was the main event with Hogan in it. It was him chasing off all the fucking hills, not sending anything.
Do you slightly hate Hulk Hogan a little bit now? Because you were an absolute Hogan mark.
Like
is
when
this
you've been,
ruining your
when you've been married for like 10 years and you hate her, but you love her really.
Divorced.
Yeah, but I've been married again for 10 years nearly. You hate her, but you love her, and you think,
You're about due a divorce, aren't you?
I keep saying to her, "Can you shave that moustache?" But she won't do it.
Can you stop tearing your vest off?
Yeah.
In Weatherspoon.
Stop giving me a really shit leg drop in bed.
Yeah.
It's stop beating up everyone.
I love Hogan for what he did and he got me into wrestling, the big yellow and red racist. But it's just got to that point now where I'm watching it back in '96 and I'm just going, come on, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Bash at the Beach can't come quick enough.
This is the calm before the storm of it will kick off, I guess. So we'll get good at some point. So,
Yeah.
Fair enough. I crunched the numbers because last week I couldn't remember how many we'd scored. And Nitro had hit its half century. It was 50. So Nitro is currently leading 50-19 in our Which Show Was Better running tally chart. Raw was terrible. So it's now 51 to WCW Nitro and 19 still to Raw. Lads, clean sweep.
It's a Kenny Omega special. It is a clean sweep.
52. Sam always votes for Nitro. Actually, he's had a wine, so he could vote for Raw now after everything he's
Could vote for Dynamite.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the Raw main event?
Oh my God.
I think you were touching your face or washing your eyes.
Yeah.
Or bleaching your ass. I don't know.
I don't know, because
What was the main event of Raw, Sam?
Undertaker versus Hart Foundation.
Nearly, but close enough.
Stone Cold in it.
Stone Cold Steve Austin could sway it for you.
It's
Jesus.
monumental, isn't it? What
Yeah.
else? Tell me what.
What happened in these shows I was meant to have watched?
No, it's got to be Nitro. I'll give it to Nitro because LOD Steiners and then secondary to that Luger, Alex Wright, because it's a wrestling podcast. So there wasn't. Nitro had better wrestling, didn't it?
Marginally.
Yeah.
53-19. It rolls on. I want to watch a good Raw again. We don't seem to be getting good Raws very often, do we? So
No, maybe soon.
They're
we'll get
coming.
one.
They're coming.
yeah,
Maybe
one day.
soon.
One day, once that Skip Johnson starts wrestling again. So
You can listen on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, or on any generic podcasting apps. But if you're a visual kind of guy, and you want
Or
to
girl.
Or gal.
No girls listen to this.
Or them.
If you're a girl and you listen to this, then let us know. Message us
Don't send Sam a message.
Instagram, send us
Sam,
some
no, don't
your phone
ask
number.
for these things.
I don't think one single girl listens to this, so prove me wrong. So YouTube is the main place to find us, because you can see all of us in our glory. Thank you. And give us 5 stars. Leave us good comments.
Thumbs ups.
It helps us keep going.
Sam's had that high. He's had the wine. He's coming down the other side.
Oh, I'm thinking now I've got to go and share a bed with Emily, and it's
Used
just
to-
all starting to
The
dawn.
wine high used to last for like 3/4 of the show. This one, it
Yeah,
lasted
now
for like
it's-
2 minutes.
Well,
It's
to be fair, I drank
fallen off the cliff.
protein
innit?
shake first, didn't I? And then
Oh,
all-
no.
Should have just mixed the protein powder with the wine.
Yeah. Protein
birds.
wine.
I'd put vodka in a protein shake, I think. It's like a cocktail, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Right. Might go and get some vodka now.
Baffling that you're still alive.
Yeah.
Absolutely defies
But
medical
alcohol is
science.
like the
You can see
least
he's dead behind the eyes,
thing.
though. So.
it's like Pepe.
Out of all the
Yeah.
things I could potentially have died of, alcohol is well low on the list, I'm going to say.
Boredom from listening to yourself talk.
No, I quite like listening to myself. I even do it when I'm on my own. You're quite funny, you Sam.
The
Yeah,
voices
you're
in my mind.
You're
Gareth.
cool guy.
Yes.
Social media.
Yes, you can find us on the social medias. We're on Facebook at Monday Night Chores Podcast, Twitter at Mon Night Chores, and on the Instagram at Monday_night_chores.
Perfect. Thank you once again for joining our mid-90s wrestling tour, and hope you are enjoying it. Please do get in touch, and we love speaking to people. I have been your host, Dave Mack. It's goodbye from Gareth Wadland.
I'm off to don my flannel and get involved in a 12-man tornado tag ladder Texas ball rope Punjabi prison Mosa Mayhem lumberjack match.
Can you do that one again? I don't think it's recorded
Missed
properly.
all of that.
I can't do that again.
And a see you later from Sam Wakefield. Doesn't work for the
Audio.
Audio. We need
Yeah, that's
audio.
why you should watch on YouTube. Okay, good
I
night,
see it,
all
that's
you
nice.
filthy pieces of shit. and no
Jesus.
female listeners. Just bleep it out, Dave. It's not hard.
I don't just bleep everything out. I'm not bleeping
Oh,
the
sorry,
swearing,
you
am I?
filthy. Oh, good night, you sluts. That's just in case there's any women listening.
It's weird you've just gone down this
My
weird,
God.
weird woman.
What
route.
is happening?
It's
Well,
gone
you
so-
said girls
like the
listen
last
to this
20
show.
minutes.
No
it's
girls
gone
listen
weird.
to this show.
I don't now.
Until
Well,
next
we haven't
time, it is.
put it
Shut
out
up.
yet.
Until well, that doesn't make. Oh, shut up.
It does.
It's like talking to my toddlers. Until next time, it's UK Wrestling Podcasting for Life.
Bye-bye.
So I slept in my car for like 2 hours, and then when I woke up, I looked to the left of me, and there's a man and a I don't think I've even told Emily this yet. There's a man and a woman fucking tossing each other off in the car next to me.